RickRaptor105 made a video on Battle at Big Rock, and there were some BS that he said in the video, so let's get out the barbecue sauce and the barbecue grill, and we're gonna roast him
There is,
again.
of course, the Netflix cartoon Camp Cretaceous, which I will not talk about because I have no interest in watching even a single episode of that show, because a random cartoon spin-off TV show should not be considered mandatory viewing to understand the story of a live-action mainline movie series.
Yeah, like the Clone Wars, Visions, The Bad Batch, and Rebels don't exist, which are animated series for another live-action sci-fi series.
And because the outlandish ideas that an exaggerated cartoon show provides should not be considered obligatory canon for the live-action movies either.
This is a franchise where scientists can resurrect dinosaurs despite their DNA should be long since dead, and this is a science fiction franchise, so it's not going to be completely accurate. And you show a picture of those robot dogs despite in real life we kind of have those things despite they don't shoot lasers. Just to add to this, I just need to say, just because this is a science fiction franchise doesn't mean you can go do whatever it wants, because you still have to follow some science. Like, example, in The Last Jedi, they completely give a giant middle finger to any kind of physics by doing the stupid Leia Poppins scene, where somehow Leia can survive in space without a suit. So, yes, a science fiction franchise sometimes can, not ignore all of science, but sometimes it does have to follow, right.
That's another problem with Fallen Kingdom. It wastes an entire movie's runtime on first retweeting The Lost World.
The only big similarity between The Lost World and Fallen Kingdom is going to an island to capture dinosaurs. Let's compare the two plots and maybe you'll get it. The Lost World. They're there to monitor the dinosaurs because John Hammond's going to, and Ian Malcolm goes there because he wants to rescue Sarah Harding, his girlfriend. But there is a second team that wants to capture dinosaurs to bring them to Jurassic Park San Diego. But then after, Nick Van Owen, of course, had to sabotage the camp, which is a very controversial thing that he did. They're then stuck there because they destroyed the communication equipment. So then, both the hunters and the gatherers have to get to a communication center to radio in a helicopter escape, and then there's the whole San Diego thing. In Fallen Kingdom, a volcano is going to erupt, and they have to rescue the dinosaurs and bring them to a sanctuary. Well, that's what they think. But instead, they're there to... the bad guys want to sell them, and, we all happens. That's kind of...
First of all, I don't care how many excuses you wanna make for Maisie releasing the dinosaurs without thinking of the consequences. Fact is, she is the one who pressed the button. So I will blame her and Claire for every single casualty that results from a dinosaur that originated from this room specifically.
Mills is responsible for the dinosaurs being there in the first place, and the dinosaurs being released is only part of the problem. The big problem is that genetic power is now unleashed. So that means that genetic dinosaur cloning is now open to the public. Anyone with, the proper technology can do it. That's the big problem.
Would have been an incredibly easy fix to this, by the way, that would have instantly removed any of our protagonists from being at fault. And that would have been to just have the dinosaurs break open the gate themselves.
I actually do agree that would have been a better idea to have the dinosaurs break open the gate, but from a movie standpoint, having your protagonist having to cope with, that the events are kind of their fault is actually a really good filmmaking standpoint.
After all, the tagline of Fallen Kingdom is life finds a way, but having a person externally open the gate, that's not life finding a way, that's life getting shown the way because it's incapable of doing it on its own, which kinda goes against the whole...
The life finding the way was, dinosaurs have now found a way out of humanity's clutches. Humans think that they can control dinosaurs, but it always ends up in death and rampage. And actually, I think the tagline of the movie is actually, the park is gone, so, yeah.
The ending of Fallen Kingdom directly contradicts the first one. This is only a small handful of dinosaurs. Several of them, like Velociraptor, Carnotaurus and T-Rex, even represented by just a single individual, with no chance of reproducing. While these dinosaurs will cause casualties on small-scale levels as seen in Battle at Big Rock, at the same time there are so few of them that the military would just wipe them out within a year, especially the big one.
I have to repeat myself, but like I said, genetic powers unleashed and people could just clone new ones, and also there were 2 Carnotauruses, and as we saw in the Dominion trailer, perhaps they could reproduce on their own. I mean, there's lizards that can do that.
I have seen comparisons to the situation in Colombia, where a small population of hippopotamuses, descended from Pablo Escobar's private zoo, has thrived since his death in 1993.
You should take to consider that when Pablo Escobar died, he only had 4 hippopotamuses. There's like 80 now. Perhaps dinosaurs could breed fast, although the difference is that 1993 was 30 years ago, and it's only been. But perhaps there could have been 6 parasaurs. Now there could be 25. Who knows?
This could be a really great analogy for at least the small and medium-sized dinosaurs. But many Jurassic World dinosaurs are way larger and more destructive than any hippopotamus.
Fun fact, hippos have killed more people than lions, elephants, and some other, African animals combined. And also, hippos have a bite force of 8,000 newtons, and Allosaurus only has a bite force of 3,000 newtons, and hippos are pretty aggressive.
Also, these dinosaurs are not set loose on a developing country with limited resources like Colombia, but on US soil. And the US government does have the resources to shoot at least the big dinosaurs, which also happen to be way easier to track than a hippopotamus in a swamp.
Except the United States of America is a lot bigger than Colombia, and the US government has a lot more problems to deal with than a couple of dinosaurs being unleashed. I don't want to get political.
Nasutoceratops.
Fun fact, the genus Nasutoceratops was officially published only in 2013. So unless this little girl has read a brand new dinosaur book or spent a lot of time browsing Wikipedia articles, chances are pretty low that she would actually know this dinosaur's name.
Is that really a big issue? I mean, how many people actually know that the Pseudoceratops was named in 2013? And maybe, just maybe, in the Jurassic Park universe, the Pseudoceratops was discovered earlier, maybe because, I don't know, Indian scientists were digging up bones to find, new species, and they somehow came across the Pseudoceratops and named it. I don't know.
Maybe she recognized it from back when it was still an attraction at the Jurassic World theme park, except there was no Nasutoceratops in Jurassic World or Fallen Kingdom, not even as a mention on any promotional website. We just have to accept the retcon that in this pile of dinosaurs there are 2 Nasutoceratops that just happen to be always off-screen.
The Nasutoceratops was bred on land because of the open sourcing, like I've said 1,000 times, now being open to the public. Other than that, there's no other BS that he says in the video, other than he complains about scientific inaccuracies and the dinosaurs. Yeah, this isn't a science fiction franchise, and there's literally a quote that it literally explains in Jurassic World. Nothing in Jurassic World is natural.